Amos Yee isn't a name many people mention or remember today. He was the guy who fled to the United States as an asylum seeker because of his persecution in Singapore due to his inflammatory critique of Christianity. He became popular mainly because of his controversial arrest in the country, and he became an asylum seeker in the US with the support of many human rights advocates. After he became an asylum seeker, he got arrested for child grooming and lost all goodwill he had gotten for being a free speech advocate. So this video is going to look into where he is now. Last year during a live stream, I took a quick glance at Amos's history. Our free speech advocate was arrested in 2020 for possession of sesame and trying to groom a kid over WhatsApp. He pleaded guilty and was given a 6-year sentence for his crimes. Something interesting about him is that he isn't just like your average molester. He's one of those people that is referred to as an unabashed pedophile. And our morally deplorable friend spent a lot of his time writing memoirs about how pedophile rights activism actually helps children, or why we should defend pedophiles. You can read his articles if you'd like. I'm going to post a link to them in the description. He was under the deluded opinion that children can consent to erotic relationships with adults, and he also made a distinction between violent inappropriate acts and willing participants in this exploitative relationship. He also had this really standout take that a lot of people, at least during the time this all broke down, were keenly aware of, which is his take that babies can consent. After combing through his very unsettling posts, I noted that he relies a lot on pedophile activist groups, victims of child exploitation, and cherry-picked studies to support his points. But returning to the main point of the video, where is Amos now? As of writing this, he is in prison again after violating his parole order. Yes, he was released on parole for a month before he committed the exact same crime again and was sent back to prison. He was released in the first place specifically because of his good behavior in jail. He's even in a medium security facility. Though he went back to prison after immediately trying to groom a kid upon his release, he is likely going to be out on parole again in 4 months from now, so keep an eye on your calendars for November. He's permanently going to be on the sex offender registry, and there's a possibility he could end up serving his sentence for life. But thankfully it won't be hard for the public to keep track of him. I'd be surprised if he wasn't deported from the country though, but I'm pretty much 100% confident he'll try to take advantage of a kid again. But who knows, maybe he'll be fine. The current administration seems very fine with the presence of child molesters. It is abundantly clear what Amos wants, a world where pedophiles have access to child victims. It's a very common take you see among these type of people, including organizations like NAMBLA. People like him don't change, not because they can't, but because they don't want to. But when we want to take a look at what Amos's argument actually is, he proposes that there isn't any inherent negative effects from a relationship between an adult and a kid. He relies a lot on, I wouldn't say anecdotal evidence, but cherry-picked studies and a misinterpretation of data. He makes the claim that 1 in 5 guys have a pedophilic attraction, which just simply isn't true. But that doesn't matter. He also claims that the negative repercussions for pedophilia is much more severe than it should be. He also argued against the severe repercussions for molesting a child, claiming that 10 to 30 years or being put on the sex offender registry permanently being a bit much in his opinion. So needless to say, he was keenly aware of the repercussions of his actions, yet decided to carry on anyways. But a point that he does make that is true is that it's an attraction people are born with and can't really, get rid of, but that doesn't make you unresponsible for your actions. Regardless of what you're attracted to, you are responsible for what you do, and the abuse of children isn't a harmless act. I don't know why a lot of these people, not just him, but like I said earlier, NAMBLA, have this idea that just because like 1 or 2 cherry-picked studies show that there isn't as much damage done, they say like it invalidates all the other studies that show the severe negative repercussions of such relationships. But I guess a pedophile is gonna be a pedophile. And it still surprises me how this guy is going to be out soon, and the justice system is going to act surprised that this guy doesn't recover or he doesn't change his behavior, as if 6 years is enough to beat the molester out of a guy. These types of people are usually the last person you try to change their behavior, because he's so set in stone with his mindset that he's formed up these arguments no matter how weak they are or unsubstantiated. He's just going to keep defending himself in his own head, no matter what anyone else tells him. It'll take a lot of work, effort, and I don't know. I am of the opinion this guy should stay in prison, but hey, I'm not a judge. It's not my call. But if he does come back, I am interested to see if he gets back on the internet and, tries to pick up on his persona again. I am confident he will at least attempt, but I'm sure his parole order will probably restrict him from use of the internet. So we might be limited to interviews done by other people of him, but we'll see. I think next year might be interesting, or December might be interesting. Either way, if there's any update, I'll try to keep up with it and make a video. Or not, who cares? Anyway, subscribe or don't. Yeah.